Hello, how are you? I see Anne is here. Thank you for being here. I didn't know if anyone would be here. Um, I got that Odinism thing on my mind, and I've been trying to get away from the whole Delphi scenario, just trying to promote love in the world and gardening, right? How the hell are you? Um, we'll be talking about hell. I'll be talking about it. Hell's a funny thing because a lot of people are like, go to hell, or I've had these dreams about going to hell, or you don't want to go to hell, so you better be good. But hell actually is not like a place. Like hell is actually a girl in the Norse pagan pantheon. And by Norse pagan, that would be like the Germanic, Irishish. Hello, D. Ashley. How are you? Uh oh, kind of good, Anne. Uh oh. That's not totally good, but that's very honest. Kind of good is just about right most days. Hope it's not too bad. Um, and how is D Ashley doing? So, just wanted to talk about Odinism and paganism, and I was just going on this little side tangent just to get it started out right. Hell is often thought of as a place or a place you don't want to go. That's very hot. Yeah, I'm pretty decent. Thank you. Um, so it's actually the name of a girl who is like I guess the caretaker, leader, ruler of the underworld, which is like I guess kind of what we commonly think of as hell is like the place you go below. But like traditionally, um, in this Norse pagan pantheon, this thing that they're referring to is Odinism. If you've been following the Delphi case, um, which is funny, is because they call these guys Odinists. Like I didn't know if they should be referred to as Odinites or Odinists, but I've never even heard of like Odinists as being a thing. It's more just like you're a pagan, you're a pagan. Like I never heard of someone referring to themselves as an Odinist. Um, it's just meaning you're following that old pagan path. All right, you're looking at Odin and Thor and Loki. You may have heard of him. All right, but then there's this girl named Hel. Okay, so Hel is actually a girl, and I guess the thing about her is like half of her is like she's like half dead or something. Like I don't know, but she's the ruler of the underworld. So when people say you don't want to go to hell, well, like first of all, that Norse pagan pantheon was not a hot place. It was like more of like probably like a cavernous type of a place. Maybe a little chilly. Maybe since it's below the freezing level, maybe it's like a basement type temperature all the time. But it wasn't like this burning pit with like some devil in it, like people would describe hell lately. Or like maybe the concept of hell would be come from the Dante's Inferno, perhaps from the Divine Comedy, where they have like different layers of hell. Again, that seems very like Catholic, or it doesn't. All right, now, all right. The thing you need to realize about Odinism or paganism is that is way older than Christianity or Catholicism or anything. This is way before you know AD BC, like Jesus time, way before that. Like you may be dealing with like one of the oldest. I don't even know if you can call it a religion because supposedly Odin is the All Father, like a blood relative of the white race, and that's a touchy subject because oftentimes we've been programmed by, believe it or not, our own media, governmental propaganda, to believe that white people participating in hereditarily and historically um, white activities means that they think they are supreme to others. Um, when it's just a pure fact that it's okay to be white and like being white and enjoy doing white things. Um, so this whole Odinism thing is a very, very, very old story about a alleged blood relative to white people. So this is where the religion thing and the race thing combine. And it's a touchy subject. I don't know if anyone has any wants to chime in on that or anything like that. Um, the very mention of it will make a lot of people just kind of close down, or be like, "Oh, well, you're obviously some kind of Nazi or something." Like, oh, ridiculous! It's like a knee jerk reaction, um, and it's tough to talk. It is a racial thing because, as we know, like Christianity seems very tied to the white race. We should ask ourselves, what is a white person? What makes a white person? What is the white race? Um, because we are taught that supposedly the Garden of Eden was somewhere in Africa, and um, yeah, says Anne says I understand both sides of it. The bad side ruined it for everyone. I forget that I have to read my comments for anyone else that's in the room, because like they might not see it or whatever. Yeah, the bad side ruined it, for sure. But so we are taught that everyone came from Africa, and presumably so that means the people we refer to as blacks in Africa. So that is to say that Africa was all black, and the fact is that not all of Africa was historically black. Um, there was white populations there, and we also, when we talk about race, we often forget to include the fact that there's a whole spectrum of races. It's not a black and white thing, which is where it always ends up going, probably because of how we've been programmed and propagandized in our minds. But I mean, there's a whole variety and spectrum of types of people. There's Hispanics, there's um, Asiatics, there's Indianish, like I don't know, but that's linked to Aryan too. So you almost have to know like your history and everything. But there's such a variety of people, and it's a real shame that anytime we talk about race, the first things that come to mind are black and white, as if it's some kind of oppositional thing. Yo, what up, Otto? Beep beep. So, um, but when we are talking about this uh religion of Odin, is we are definitely talking about white, as in WHYTE, white, um, people, and their ancestral, I don't know if you can call it religion or a history, um, of their people. Um, it's hard to address these things without people getting upset. Hmm. And says, Otto Mobile Ho, you probably don't remember me. Ha. Yeah, I'll probably does remember you, but oh no, he doesn't. Haha. Yo, you were both up in Who's Are the Bruisers chat lives, both of you. I'm pretty sure I met you both through Who's Are the Bruisers chat. Pretty sure. Um, and of course that's pretty cool. Anyways, he says hello. So so now that we've addressed the fact that this religion is race based and there's no way around it except that's the plain truth of it. Yeah, Miss Bruiser, man. We'd be talking about so much stuff. Could you imagine doing a live with him right now? He'd be like, he'd have so much to say about the whole goings on with the lawyers and everything, you know? All right, so what I wanted to, in particular, one thing I really, now that I have like three of you guys here, all right, and I know you know about Delphi, what I wanted to say was, if they're gonna say this was Odinist that did this, I was on the old dude calls you Bruiser and others. Yeah, definitely. What I really want y'all to know is a serious practitioner of paganism, or even a light practitioner of Wicca, which is like light witchcraft, is introduced to something called the threefold rule, like right off the bat. And that's a primary rule. And what it says is that what you send out, you get back three times that. So if you're going to send out any type of bad mojo, that bad mojo is going to triple and come back on you. So even like basic, your basic little like witchy witches, like dabblers in Wicca and stuff like that, they're going to be very careful about what they do. Like they say they don't want to send out like black magic, or they don't cast love spells on people because it that's something that someone would not be consenting to. It's a manipulation that's you don't want to come back threefold on you. So to say first of all that any kind of pagan would be involved in sacrificing a human against the human's will, um, it's just it would not be it would not be like even in their like primary directives to do something like that. Um, and when it comes to Delphi, now we have these lawyers for Richard Allen saying that not only did they say like theoretically this is what happened, they're saying that this is definitely what happened, and they're giving names, which is very strange. I think would I mean it's basically accusing someone like full on, full out. That's not like a theoretical defense. Like, what if this, was what if Richard was being framed and it was actually a like Odinist cult doing this? Um, but they actually gave names, which is really like I would think that's some kind of breach of ethics aside from all the leaks, which I mean, instead of playing like the victim, like you should just like man up and be like, I mean, you just leaked pictures of like a crime scene of people's daughters, like, and one of them didn't even have clothes on. Like, you just leaked that. Like, Anyway, so okay, back to what I was saying about like the threefold and everything. Like a serious practitioner of Odinism. Now, I'm just gonna say like Odinism is generally intertwined with paganism. So when I say Odinism, I mean paganism, all that. Um, uh, what's awful? Missing Bruiser? That's definitely awful. um, but the thing is, a serious practitioner would not do this, lay this crime scene out, do commit this act on unconsenting people, aka Abby, Libby and Libby and Abby, Liberty and Abby. Okay. Oh yeah, the leaked crime scene photos. Yeah, it is awful. You better be listening to me. um, but yeah, it's awful. Like my God, and the way he like just danced around it, like, oh, I was the victim to my best friend who deceived me. Oh, I mean, God, I would be like ashamed of myself. And even when you're dealing with like HIPAA, HIPPA, Healthcare Accountability Portable Protection Act, or whatever it used to be, you know not to leave anything just laying around. You're not even allowed to like pull up a patient's file and then walk away from the computer without logging out of it. I mean, this is basic stuff. So he doesn't know how to handle material, or did it? He leaked it on purpose as part of their strategy, as some people have suggested. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. I probably he probably did. But when we were now, how did this theory come to be? Like, okay, yeah, there's a guy who like has some every first of all, everybody in Indiana dresses like Bridge Guy, has outfits, weird hats and shit, and most guys have a few knives. you know, guys like weapons. Um, guys like the woods, like and in Indiana, everybody dresses like Bridge Guy. So, I mean, yeah, he's a little suspicious. So is it like half the population in Indiana. Like, I'm gonna stay the hell out of Indiana. I'll tell you what. But anyway, um, a serious practitioner wouldn't do all that and then like leave that scene. Like Carter said, like how you left them. These guys in and around Delphi sounds more like a bike club hiding behind a symbol. Garrett Kurtz alluded to something like this in Open Secrets first. Yeah, I remember Open Secrets interviews with Gary Kurtz. She really got him to talk. He liked talking to her. Um, haven't seen her in a bit, huh? Haven't seen a lot of people in a bit. Yeah, I remember the interviews. She did a good job. Um, now how it came to be when we were first like looking at the video. Like we were looking at it, and it looked like Bridge Guy had some weird shit on his head. Some people thought it looked like wild fur, or even it almost looked like ears and eyes, like an animal headdress. Like a lot of people saw that, and the fact that this happened around Valentine's Day, which is also historically Lupercalia, some people thought this was having some kind of strange stuff like that. It was taken down, now back up. Open Secrets channel. Um, but just because, like, let's say someone even did have like pagan-ish stuff going on at the crime scene, I would say this is at most a dabbler. Dabbler is in like not the real deal, as in someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, um, attempting to make some human sacrifice to some god they think would appreciate that. Which, to my knowledge, Odin isn't about that. And it's been brought up. Let me see if I can get my chat back. All messages visible. Okay, cool. Got my messages up now. Sorry, they're like disappearing. Be interesting to rewatch those interviews. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Garrett Kurtz. Um, God, that brings back memories. Remember, Harvey Carroll was all on Garrett. Anyway, yeah. So it's either it would be either if there were like these paganish things going on with the crimes. Yeah, it would take an animal to kill like that. He is an animal, right? Right. This is not like a serious Odinist practitioner or group involved in something like that. Um, Something like human sacrifice would be precious to them, and it would have to be consensual. Um, and it wouldn't be left out like as a mess for someone in the public to find. Like, and it would just like I mean, historically, I think they like might have sacrificed kings once in a while, like, but that's very different than like Otto said, like leaving a mess like an animal attack, you know. So I did that's one of the points I really wanted to make is that this is not like the act of serious Odinists or pagans or even little witches. At the most, this is a delusional and um dabbler who doesn't know what they're doing, who's just kind of feeling their way based on things they've seen in Hollywood films or some bullshit. Um, or this is someone who did this and then just felt like throwing in these pagan occultic themes into it, if there even really are any rumored to be, just to like make it look like that. Oh, some Odinist did it or something. The one thing that doesn't make sense to me is why would Odinist target white children? Right, right. It makes no sense. But then again, as you point out, this is a white thing. So if there was something like someone didn't like white people, they might target the white children and then make it look like white people sacrificed them or some crazy shit. Which again, like paganism, witchcraft, Odinism, all that historically is like your white religion before you were indoctrinated into Christianity or Catholicism or whatever. That's your roots. If you're white, and I don't mean you're pale and you have light color skin, I mean you're white. You're like Irish or German or Swiss or white. One of those. You know what I mean? Like white people, like not light colored people. Okay, and this has to be said as well. Jews do not consider themselves to be white. They may look indistinguishable. I mean, there are Hispanic people that look indistinguishable from white people. They're still not white. Your lightness of your skin is not what makes you white. It's a breed, and this is hereditarily, historically discovered in hard, tangible objects archaeologically. This is your religion, your faith, your past, your history. And Odin might really be like a blood relative to white people. That's that. So, yeah, a serious practitioner wouldn't do that. And it makes absolutely no sense for that to happen from Odinist to white children, unconsenting white children left there as an animalistic mess. Makes no sense. So I did want to put those 2 points out there. And then I do want to get back to the hell thing. Like that hell is actually there's like a whole pantheon. There's like Odin, who's like the All Father, and then Odin's son is Thor, and I forget how hell fits into it, but yeah, hell is actually like, and in Christianity they always say like, oh, the devil is residing over hell. Well, in the paganism, hell is a girl who oversees the underworld. For all intents and purposes, the queen or princess of the underworld. So, I mean, we're taught that there's like some big devil down there burning everybody with like demons and all this running around. But in the underworld, there like wasn't really that. And hell is a girl. Thank you, thank you, Levi. Okay, well, Jesus is king, he says, and loves you all. Have a blessed day. Well, you know what? Thanks. Thank you. I mean, I love Jesus. You know, you can love Jesus and um understand the whole Odin thing. Yeah. I mean, to understand your roots of your race and their religion or way of life or stories. Odin has a son named Thor, and I believe he has a Balder. B-L-D-U-R. And what happened was there was some kind of crazy trick one day with Balder, where Balder was like kind of invincible, like being pierced somehow, and one day they tricked a blind member of the family to throw like some sharp stuff at him. And I didn't forget if they were like sharpened branches or like a spear or an arrow or something. But he hit Balder, pierced Balder, and Balder died. And then like Balder was like the sunshine of everyone and the joy of everyone's life. Um, so when Balder went to the underworld and died, and again, oh, sorry, I think oh my God, my finger was over it. Should sound better. Thanks, Ann. So I was just saying that Baldur, Baldur, was also a son of Thor, and um, he was like you couldn't. Okay, cool, cool. I'm just gonna recap in case you guys didn't hear the story of Baldur. One day that the old family was having a get together, and they played a joke, and they took one of the blind old men in the family, and they had him throw like something sharp that could hurt Baldur. I think like maybe, oh, I know. Loki dressed up as an old woman and convinced like every creature and plant except for like one was like promised not to hurt Balder. But I don't know if it was mistletoe or something. But anyway, they gave a branch of this stuff to the old man who was blind, so he didn't really know what he was doing. And he threw it at Balder and it pierced Balder. This killed Balder, and Balder became deceased and went to the underworld. So Balder, another son of Odin, was like the joy of the family. And um, when Balder died and went to the underworld, I said going to the underworld, like he didn't really go to hell. He went to the well, he was with hell, but it's not the hell like thinking describing shit. Um, the lightness and the joy left like the family or the kingdom or whatever. So when we think of Jesus, it's interesting. Sometimes I wonder if there's like a Jesus and Balder connection. Sorry, my hand is over thing. Sometimes I wonder if there's a Jesus Balder connection because you would think if Balder was ever able to be like resurrected from the underworld, that the joy and the lightness could come back to the family, um, Odin's family, that is. And there are like plenty of stories, both in like the Norse pagan and in like the Greek, which I would presume the Greek comes after and maybe even be based upon the pagan Odinism type. I got disconnected again, but I was just saying like the Greek and the Norse pagan likely pretty connected. Like a lot of the characters, you can say are like maybe Odin is Uranus, and maybe Thor is Zeus, something like that. It's kind of like the how that crosses over to like the Indian, like there's like Shiva, um, and like how Greek and then the Roman comes after, and they just have like same people but different names, and that's all pagan. And Greek are white. They're I would say um that would be like considered part of the white. I mean, we think of Greek people now as being kind of like dark or whatever, but in terms of genetically and like their religion and stuff, um, I think you're dealing with some of the same stories. And then you look at India, like you may have heard of the term Aryan, Aryan, Aryan. Um, Aryan and Proto-European, and those two terms um, both have to do with whiteness, Caucasian, and Caucasian has to do with a genetic line of people that can be traced back to, I believe it's called the Caucasus Mountains, a region, and um, the I don't know if maybe the tribe of Dan biblically, but um, it all ties back into Odinism or the old pagan path. Um, Now, when we think about our written words, like our alphabet, our 24 letters in our alphabet of English that a lot of us speak, then we think of things we know about like Roman numerals, okay? And like the Roman, like the Greek alphabet, we've heard of that. But generally, the 24, I think it's like 20, 24, 26 letters or so. Most languages involve these letters. But according to the Norse pagan religion, story, whatever you want to call it, and according to the archaeological record, written letters like the alphabet um, kind of came and evolved over time. According to the story, Odin is where the written words come from, the written language. Originally, they were runes, not letters. So, runes are almost like a letter, but more pictorial. We think of like hieroglyphs. Jerry Dab says, say something funny. Mm, weed. Here's something funny for you. Fun, it sucks. I scrape my bowl. Look at that. Anyway, hope that's funny. Yeah, that's right. I hope you got something good to smoke, Ann. I hope you got something good. Are your herbs growing, by the way? I still have stuff growing. If you wanted me to send you like any chive, get some more chive packets or something, because I know those didn't grow. I'll send you some. You don't smoke? No way. You hang with the smokers? You're still cool. You can hang with us. Oh, that's all right. Edibles, they're good as long as they're powerful enough so you feel them. Mm. I bought some edibles the other day from the dispensary. I was like, man, I wish I didn't blow my money on these. These are weak. Just give me my weed. Yeah. You like the gummies? Or you like to make some butter, put it in your cookies? I like to make some butter, put it in my cookies when I eat it like that. Just make it right from the flour. Cook the flour down. My herbs are doing great. Yo, yeah, that basil grows like a beast, doesn't it? That's cool. I'm happy. That makes me happy. Very cool. I said, if you want me to make anything up to you, because I know some of those you knew that when you bought them, but some of those seeds weren't as good. So if I can make it up to you, I can send you some plants or some other seeds sometime. You just let me know. I'm around. So I mean, was there really like, oh yeah, so I was saying like the original roots of our language, our written language, letters were runes. And this is proven historically like by the archaeological record. So, yes, like I mean, it's just a fact of it. It's not a matter of supremacy or anything, but the story goes an old white man named Odin taught us how to speak and taught us how to write. I mean, don't anybody get mad because that knowledge was shared. Um, but yeah, supposedly Odin hung upside down from the world tree named Yggdrasil. The world tree was this big, huge tree, and he hung upside down like 9 days or nights or something, and even pierced himself while he was hanging. That might be something missed in the translation of the story into English. Sacrificing yourself to yourself, hanging from a tree and piercing yourself. I mean, I'm not sure how literal that was, or if something is missing in the interpretation, or if sometimes like there's sayings like when you sacrifice yourself to yourself, like that could actually mean something else. But or like piercing yourself or hanging from a tree or could mean something else. But anyway, that's how the runes were supposedly acquired. Like that is the old story. I mean, like this is like a long time ago. And then you figure Ragnarok already happened. Ragnarok was supposed to be like the big fight between like Odin and his family and this big wolf named Fenrir and like some big serpent. I forget the serpent's name, but I would presume by the state of things that Ragnarok already happened. And like what happens after Ragnarok? Like let's say like Odin and all of them became deceased on the physical plane and became spirit. Okay, well, what happens? Does Odin reincarnate? Where did Loki go? What was did? Okay, so all of them when they died, they went to the underworld to um, which is presided over by a girl named Hel. A girl named Hel. That's the story. And we always say go to a place named Hell. I can't get over that. I want everyone to know Hell is a girl, not a place. And the underworld isn't fiery and hot. Do you believe the crime scene was staged purposely to look like ozone? That's a good question. Perhaps it would be like a dabbler who wanted to be like, oh, like someone who wouldn't fit in with that group, like so maybe someone who wanted to become an Odinist with the official group but couldn't, or just someone who wanted to commit the crime because they're like a they have urges they can't control and inner voices they can't control, and um they just decided to make it look like Odinism. I think it's possible. I think it's more likely someone staged it to look like that, um, and or a dabbler than a serious practitioner of Odinism. That's a point I wanted to make tonight. So thanks for coming out and asking it point blank. And yeah, I don't think a serious practitioner would have done that. It makes no sense. Like even like I said, even a lightweight Wiccan, which yeah, a poser, right? Exactly. Hmm. You got it. Yep. Yep. That's cool. Well, thanks you guys for coming in here and you know, listening to what I had to say. I'm gonna leave this up. Um, as you know, I'm trying to like not be as involved in Delphi. I just come to a lot of the so I go in the chats and I watch the videos and stuff, and I don't really announce that I'm there or comment all that much. I'm still keeping track on things, and you might wonder, well, why am I getting out of Delphi? Because I am part of that community and I do care for the people there. It is a circus. It's a carnival. It's not what I want my channel to be about. It's never what I intended to get into. Uh, the reason I got into it was because I could pretty much look at the video and translate it into a drawing. And I took those videos down before this whole like lawyer Buddhism debacle. I took most of my videos down. Just I'm not trying to claim any fame. I'm not trying to claim any reward. Um, it was strictly a voluntary thing, and it's not what I want my channel to be about. I'm not building my reputation off of it. So and since law enforcement didn't seem to be particularly interested in my efforts to draw Rich Guy, whether they're pretty accurate or not, some people say that it looked pretty much like Richard Allen. But law enforcement wasn't particularly interested in my efforts, so the community knows what I did. I don't need to leave it on my channel. And if anybody needs to get a hold of me about it, find a way to get a hold of me about it. Glad I could help. So yeah, that's pretty much why. Like there's you know there's no point in leaving it all on my channel. It's a memory now, really, for those who know. If you know, you know. So yeah, but I did want to say, from what I know, I I'm involved in the Christian community. I'm involved in the pagan community. Um, yeah, thank you, man. I figured some people would like to hear some thoughts from someone who isn't just newly discovering pagan Norse paganism or Odin. And I have people to look into Odin and the old religion. It's unfortunate, but hey Maddie, what's up? Um, it's good to see people looking into the old religion and discovering, well, oh, well, it's not, like this evil thing, and why is it that we're saying hi? So, crime is causing people to look into the old religion. Sorry about that, y'all. Probably still disconnected right now. I'm just happy to see finally people in mind and very intelligent people, I might add, looking into roots of their race and their religion and their history instead of being beaten down by like current religious dogma, which shames them from looking into their own past. So I just wanted to say all that. I'm not sure if this is still buffering. Um, a lot. Again, who stopped in, and I'll leave this up. Hopefully, this will give anyone who wants to think about or just you know. I know I keep going in and out. I'm sorry. So I'm just kind of like end the thing, end the chat now, end the live, and I'll just leave it up. If anyone wants to check it out, they come check it out, and that's where I stand on it. And take care, y'all. Now I gotta try and figure out how to end this thing. What do I do? No. Ooh. Oh, no, I don't want to switch my camera. I don't know. I'm gonna try to hit this, guys. Yep, stop streaming. All right, bye.